Many of us continue the search. The search for secrets left over from the days long gone. Before the end of civilization as we knew it. In a day and a world. In long abandoned ruins. Relics await, well hidden from prying eyes. In our world, there is only radiation, cold, desolation, and death. Has it been since the day the Cold War ended with mutually assured destruction? 15, 20. We are looking for a path that would lead our people out of the ruins. Mysteries of the past. But sometimes we forget the old adage. In the wastes, nothing is what it seems.
Alright, hello and welcome to Let's Play Adam RPG Trudograd, with me, BringItDon. Trudograd was developed and published by Adam Team, is released today, September 13th, 2021. It is a turn-based, post-apocalyptic role-playing game. And what's unique about this expansion is that you can play it by itself. You don't need to own the original Adam RPG in order to experience this one. So recommended that you do, because you can import your character, and does act as a sequel. But you don't have to. You can treat it as a standalone expansion if you wish. A disclaimer as we go forward, the rest of this episode will be nothing but character creation. I'm going to go over every detail and the character creator, which has been greatly expanded upon from the original campaign. Because this is a much higher level campaign or setting. So they give you a lot more options to work with. They give you your entire list of feats and perks to work with as well. We'll go over all that. Let's go and jump into a new game. So you can create a character if you wish, or select a pre-made. We'll be importing our character from the original campaign. Right there, good old Donnie. Alright, here's the character creator. There's also a list of abilities. We're going to read through all of this, so buckle up. Alright, so experience points. These are granted as the character completes quests, wins fights, and interacts with the environment. Health represents damage the character can endure before death, depends on strength and endurance. Dodge represents the chance to avoid damage from an enemy attack, depends on dexterity. Action points represents the amount of actions the character can perform during one turn in combat, depends on dexterity. A carry weight represents the maximum weight the character can carry around, depends on strength. Melee damage represents the damage the character can deal in unarmed melee, depends on strength. Skill points per level represents the amount of skill points the character gets every level, depends on intellect. Damage threshold. How much damage you completely ignore, depends on the armor and abilities. And then damage resistance. The percentage by which the damage you receive is lowered, depends on the armor and abilities. You see this little slash here in the middle. One represents the body or torso armor, the other one represents the head armor. A cold resistance Represents the character's ability to withstand cold, depends on endurance, and this is new to Trudograd. This wasn't a stat in the original campaign. Toxic resistance. Represents the character's ability to slow down the rate of poisoning, depends on endurance. Sequence. Represents the turn order of the character in combat, depends on dexterity and attention. Regeneration. Represents the amount of health points restored during a 24-hour period, works passively as the character rests, depends on endurance. And chance of critical hit. Represents the chance to hit the enemy for massive critical damage during combat, depends on luck. Our distinctions are traits. They all, I believe every single one of them has a benefit, but also a penalty for selecting them. So it allows you to specialize your build. So Destructive Diplomat. A kind word and a gun always trumps the sole kind word, at least in your opinion. You get +3 to personality, +20 to speechcraft. Chance to talk your way out of random encounters, +20%. +10 to firearm skill, -1 to strength, and -7 to sequence and dodge. A Deadly Dog. Your incurable addiction makes you into a monster. Every time you feel the first stages of withdrawal, you do everything to make others feel a fraction of the pain you endure. +2 to an intellect, +30 to first aid. A critical chance when in withdrawal, +10%. You're always drug addicted and you can never get cured. Not much of a penalty for what you get out of that. A Timid Theoretician. You know how to achieve great wonders of post-war technology. However, you rarely hold something heavier than a ruler and a pencil. +1 to intellect. You start with level 3 recipes. Crafting and technology +30. -1 to personality, and carry weight -15 kilograms. Big Boned. First they called you the corpulent cadet, now they call you a massive major. All those bullies are wrong. You're indeed healthy and simply big boned. That's no lie. Endurance +2, HP per level +2. Hunger sets in twice as quick, and dodge -20. That one seems really good. I'm actually tempted to swap one of these out for that one. I'm not going to, but it's tempting. A Trickster. You rarely visited the gym, but everyone knew you as the master of unlocking. Dexterity +2, stealth +25, dodge +8, steal and pickpocket +20, carry weight -20, and sequence -7. Pack Leader. You are a born leader, a shepherd, a visionary, a grand strategist, and a prime target for everyone in shooting range. For each follower you get, +7 to speechcraft, +5 to first aid and barter, +2 damage resist, and every follower gets +1 to dexterity and endurance. And for every follower on the team you lose, 1 to sequence, 10% to become targeted by enemies, and every follower loses -2 to sequence and -8 to dodge. So if I had played through this campaign before and knew how many companions there were in it, I would probably choose this one because I really like the leadership role, like picking like a leadership class in games like this. But I have no idea how many companions there were. In the base campaign, original campaign, there were 4, so you'd get like 20 to first aid and barter, which some of those aren't great. The damage resist would be okay. It's really the followers that benefit. They get the +1 to dexterity and endurance, which is really, really solid. Dexterity is probably the most important stat in the game, combat-wise. Alright, Hounded Individual. Everyone is out to get you. Trust nobody. All friends and relatives are replaced by fake automatons when you're not looking. They bug your beat supply. Was that glowing KGB specter watching you just now? All these new neighbors scanning your dreams. Stay vigilant. You only have yourself. When you're alone, +2 to attention, +1 to endurance, and +7 to sequence, and +20 to carry weight. When you have a party of so-called friends, -2 to attention, -20 to survival, and -7 to sequence. Weird Loner. You spend your last vacation in your favorite place, a dump full of broken pre-war machinery. Too bad you were so excited when crafting, that you forgot to take most of your meals. So hunger grows half as slow, survival +30, cold and poison resist +15, crafting +20, -5 to carry weight, and -7 to sequence. A Natural Born Trader. You worked with a caravan in your spare time. Trading became your second nature. However, since you had men to lug wares and guard the caravan for you, your physical skills regressed somewhat. +2 to personality, +1 to attention, plus 30 to barter and speechcraft. Trader discount 10%, minus 5 to sequence, minus 1 to strength, minus 15 to carry weight, and minus 10 to weapon skills. And then God's mistake. Behold the mistake of God. You fail at everything you do, but there's a bright side. You're more resilient due to your constant accidental self-harm, and you manage to make your terrible luck contagious. When you mess up, your enemies mess up as well. Critical attack power slightly raised. Endurance plus 2. The less luck you have, the more your opponent messes up in astonishing and baffling ways. From time to time, you suffer fatal mistakes yourself, naturally. So it says fatal mistakes, so I wonder if you can accidentally kill yourself through an action. Because this would benefit my build greatly, because I don't put any points into luck. Oh, that's pretty good. Alright, Sensei. A wise master of martial arts once said, those who kill with bullets spend their life searching the waste for more ammo, but those who kill with fists spend a minute to loot enemy corpses and ready to kill once more. You were that master. Plus 1 to endurance and dexterity, plus 25 to hand-to-hand and melee weapons, plus 5 to dodge, minus 35 to all firearm skills. And shooting and reloading firearms weapons cost an extra 1 action point. Bloodthirsty Ogre. You have many layers. Alright, you have many layers, but the one most people see is that of a blood-crazed psycho-cannibal. No wonder folks will concentrate their fire on you in any shootout. Gather 3 meat from people you murder, plus 30 to survival. All enemies have a 15% chance to panic at the start of the battle if they are in 8 squares or less around you. Minus 2 to personality, and a 50% chance of being attacked instead of any teammates in combat. A sexy beast. You spend a lot of time making it so any person of the opposite gender falls for your charms. Now all you have to do is make your own gender less envious of your love life. Plus 2 to personality, plus 20 to barter, only works for the opposite gender, and minus 1 personality when talking to your own gender. A lone genius. You're always a smart, attentive, and charming kid, but it's hard for you to learn from life experience due to your crippling lack of empathy. Plus 1 to intellect, personality, and attention, minus 25% to all experience points gained, minus 1 ability point per level. Not great. Roid Rampage. If your lifespan was like a century or two, maybe you'd have the time to gain muscle the old-fashioned way. Life in the waste isn't that long for anyone, though. At least that's what you say to yourself to justify your disturbing pill addiction. Plus 3 to strength, carry weight plus 20 kilograms. Using any stimulants grants sequence plus 4 and damage resist plus 8. Stimulants work twice as long. Dodge minus 8, intellect minus 1, minus 10 to toxic resist. Stimulants have a 15% chance to cause a critical effect. Negative effects of stimulants last twice as long. That one's also pretty tempting to take. Except for I absolutely hate addiction in this game. Retrograde. While the Chodes and the Dweebs constructed their little inventions, you grew muscle mass and did heavy endurance training. Trash using crafting is finite, raw force is infinite. Plus 2 to strength, plus 1 to endurance, minus 40 to crafting and technology, and crafting requires twice as many ingredients. Freedom Lover. Firearms are the only religion worth following in this darn world. They are its only salvation, its only guarantee of human rights, freedom, and justice for all. Firearms are the things you will never give up, things they will have to take from your cold, dead hands. All firearm-related skills gain plus 25, sequence plus 7, plus 3% chance, or plus 3% to critical attack chance. Hand-to-hand and melee weapons lose 20, endurance minus 1. Lucky Bastard. Never called yourself lucky. People who witnessed you juggle chainsaws while walking a minefield did it for you. Plus 3 to luck, plus 2 to personality, plus 15 to speechcraft and gambling, plus 30% to chance, 30% to chance of skill check pass and untrained skills. Did I read that right? To chance of skill? That's worded weird. Plus 30% chance to pass skill checks and untrained skills. There we go. And that's worded better. Strength and endurance minus 1, minus 15 to all skills except speechcraft and gambling. Wacky Woodsman. On the plus side, you taught yourself to kill beasts of all kinds so cleanly, you never mess up their valuable parts. On the other hand, you often forget to clean yourself after a hunt. Plus 35% to damage against monsters and animals. You can grab valuable body parts without a knife. Get twice as much loot from animals and monsters. Plus 20% chance to hit limbs with aimed shots. Personality -1, and -10 to carry weight. And Doomed Guy. You're cursed to suffer a cruel and terrible fate. It only makes you want to kill more. Attention +2, plus 12% to hit with aimed shot. With luck, 3 and lower, plus 3% to critical chance. Chance plus 5% to cause a critical state when shooting limbs. Luck -2, sequence -7, -10% to hit with unaimed shot. That'd go with my build pretty well too. I have less than 3 luck. Alright, now for our characteristics or attributes. Strength governs maximum carry weight, intimidation and dialogue, melee and unarmed damage, as well as slightly increases maximum health. How much does that affect it? Okay. Alright, endurance. Maximum health total, resistance against negative effects such as the survival skill, all depend on endurance. I think I read that wrong. But you get the gist of it. Dexterity. The ability to dodge blows, combat speed, accuracy in melee combat, as well as lockpicking and theft skills all depend on dexterity. Intellect. Affects the amount of skill points you get each level and opens up new dialogue options. Attention. Attention covers accuracy, ranged combat, helps you notice easy to miss details in dialogues and in your surroundings. Personality. Affects the speechcraft and barter skills, people the ways to react to your presence depending on your personality. And luck. Governs the success of many things from causing and receiving criticals, to evasion and chances of causing min or max weapon damage. Luck rules all in a small way. So in order to actually proceed, we have to have at least 3 points in an intellect. So your intellect is too low. Sorry, but Adam would never send someone in your condition on a dangerous mission. We're going to take 2 points out of intellect and put them into, out of attention and put them into intellect. I could have some in the spare here. I might put that into personality. Can't. Doesn't affect us at all. Yeah, let's do this instead. Alright, now for the skills. So the skills have been reworked in a way you now get bonus effects when you hit certain thresholds in each skill. A lot of them are redundant, so I'll summarize those as we go through them. So martial arts, the skill governs your ability to use kicks and punches in combat. At 50 points, experience for killing in hand-to-hand combat increases by 5%. At 100, combo attacks available for bare fists and feet. So martial arts is unique in the base campaign, or the original campaign. As you put skill points into it, you would unlock new special attacks. I think it was the only skill that got something like that in the first campaign. Anyway, 150, experience for killing with the attacks and weapons governed by the skill increases by 10%. At 200, adds a head smashing and roundhouse attack for bare hands and feet. At 250, attacks aimed at the body parts are much more deadly. At 299, attacks governed by the skill ignore 30% of armor and 100% of enemy evasion rating. Melee weapons. You skill with knives, axes, and shivs. So at 50 points, a lowers chance of breaking a melee weapon in combat by 2%, 10% if the foe is armored. At 100, you get 10% bonus experience. At 150, weapons governed by the skill have a 9% chance to ignore armor. At 200, a 15% bonus experience. At 250, critical hit chance with weapons governed by this skill increases by 4%. At 299, attacks governed by this skill ignore 30% of armor and 100% of enemy evasion. Pistols and SMGs. The skill governs your ability to handle smaller guns, like pistols or submachine guns. At 50 points, 10% bonus experience. At 100, allows attacking with stocks and handles of the weapons governed by this skill. So it gives you a melee attack with the ranged weapons, so you don't have to swap over to something else and waste action points. At 150, weapons governed by the skill have a 13% chance to ignore armor. At 200, you get a 15% bonus, experience bonus. At 250, you get a 12% critical hit chance. And at $2.99, you get a 30% chance to ignore armor and 100% of enemy evasion. Rifles and shotguns. The skill is responsible for larger firearms, such as rifles and shotguns. At 50 points, you get a 5% experience bonus. At 100, you can attack with the stocks of the weapons. At 150, weapons governed by the skill have an 11% chance to ignore armor. At 200, you get 10% bonus experience. At 250, base damage with weapons governed by the skill increases by 50%. And 299, 30% chance to ignore armor and 100% chance to ignore enemy evasion. Automatic firearms. The skill is responsible for larger firearms such as assault rifles and machine guns. At 50, bursts are 10% more accurate. At 100, allows you to attack with the stock of the weapon. At 150, weapons governed by this skill have a 9% chance to ignore armor. At 200, experience for killing with the weapons governed by this skill increases by 15%. That's weird. It's the only one that doesn't have 2 tiers of experience. Probably because it's the most popular skill. Used to be extremely busted. I think they nerfed it at some point with the 1.1 update in the original campaign. At 250, when firing bursts, the stun chance is increases by 25% and armor ignoring chance by 15%. And at 299, same as the rest of them, 30% chance to ignore armor and 100% chance of ignoring enemy evasion. Alright, throwing weapons. The ability to throw knives and grenades in combat. Also determines your effectiveness with all kinds of crossbows. 50% allows attacking with stocks of the weapons governed by this skill. What if you have a grenade equipped? Can you punch somebody in the face with a grenade? At 100, 15% bonus experience. At 150, range is increased by 1. 200, 70% chance to ignore armor. 250, critical hit chance increased by 5%. And 299, attacks governed by the skill ignore 30% of armor and 100% of enemy evasion. That's a lot of reading. Alright, speechcraft. This skill is your ability to influence others with words. It also helps avoiding fights with bandits on the global map. 50, 20% bonus experience. No, wait. That's not percent, just plus 20 experience. Okay. At 100, personality is raised by 1 in dialogue. 150, plus 35 experience. Unsuccessful use of the skill. At 200, plus 1 attention for the purposes of dialogue checks. 250, plus 50 experience on a successful use of the skill. And 299, plus 1 personality. And then barter. A skill for trading and getting discounts while bartering. At 50, plus 5% discount. 100, merchant's cash increases by 30%. 150, trader stock variation increased by 20%. 200, merchant's cash increases by 100%. 250, merchant stock updates twice as fast. And 299, gain 1 experience point for every 50 rubles of money gained by selling things. Gambling. With this skill, you'll become more successful in gambling. Also, you may get special dialogue options with other gambling people. Alright, so at 50, winnings increased by 30%. At 100, increased by 50%. 150 by 70%. 200 by 100%. 250 by 200%. And 299, another 200%. I assume it's another 200%. And that the subsequent values don't overrule the previous values. So I don't know if these are additive or multiplicative, or if that's supposed to say 300%. Survival. The skill with which you survive the hardships of the Wasteland. Helps you to find interesting spots during your travels, avoid combat on the global map, and makes your journey faster. So at 50, global map traveling speed increased by 10%. At 100, increased by 20%. At 150, increased by 30%. At 200, experience received via usage of this skill increased by 20%. At 250, doubles the duration of effects provided by consuming food, tea, or coffee. And at 299, 50% increased travel speed inside and outside the global map. Inside and outside the global map. Huh. Alright, first aid. skill with which you administer first aid for minor injuries. It also lowers the probability of gaining negative traits like alcoholism, drug addiction, etc. So at 50, it turns 15% of health points restored by stimulants and first aid kits into experience. That's absurd. 100, 15% stronger healing effects from medical items. 150, removes the negative effects of stimulants except for the doctor death is distinction. That's really good. 200, turns 30% of health points restored by stimulants and first aid kits into experience. 250, halves all negative effects from the use of BSF-12 and morphine, except for the doctor death distinction. 299, doubles all positive effects of BSF-12 and morphine. Stealth, the ability to hide from others while stealing their possessions. Alright, so at 50 you get a 10% experience for each item successfully stolen from a character's field of vision. At 100 you get 20, or you're saying percent, it's not percent. It's a flat 10 XP, 20 XP, 30, 40, 50, and 100. Alright, lockpicking. The ability to successfully open locks. So at 50, experience received via usage of this skill increases by 5%. At 100, increased by 20%. 150, 40% more experience on successful use of the skill. 200, 60% more experience. 250, 80% more experience. And 299, 100% more experience. Pickpocket. The ability of picking the pockets of fellow Wasteland dwellers. So at 50 points, experience received via usage of this skill increased by 10%. At 100, increased by 20%. At 150, 50%. 200, 100%. 250, 150%. 299, 200%. Technology. A skill that measures your understanding of pre-war technology and your ability to use it. Same as the other ones. At 50, increased experience by 20%. 100, 50%. 150, 100%, 200, 150%, 250, 200%, and 299, 300% more experience. And crafting, the skill which governs your ability to create various items that can help you in your journey. So at level, or 50 points, unlocks level 1 and 2 recipes. 100 points, experience from crafting is up 25%. 150, 5% chance to learn a new recipe while crafting. 200 unlocks level 3 recipes. 250, price of custom-made firearms increased by 200%. And 299 unlocks all available recipes. So that is extremely redundant with oh, where's it at? One of these gives you up to level 3 recipes. Yeah, the Timid Theoretician. So do not get this if you're going to go all in on crafting. Alright, now for the abilities. We're going to read all these now. Alright, survival. You, plot armor. Someone has to survive. Might as well be you. You get plus 1% plus 1% to avoid knockdown for every level until the bonus reaches 20%. Ability works retroactively as if taken on the first level. So we already have it maxed out. So that's something they've changed with the perks or the abilities. Is a lot of them now scale with your level. And then alongside all the extra experience you get from all the skills in your skill tree, I feel like you're going to be gaining levels like just rapidly. This is going to be one of the ones we grab, I believe. Alright, and then Felcher. An ability to max out the healing effects of drugs available in the Wasteland. Medicines heal plus 1% HP for every level until the bonus reaches 30%. I don't need to read the rest of that because it's all redundant. Alright, Oaken Skin. In travels and battles across the Wasteland, even the weakest person hardens. You get a plus 1% to damage resistance and plus 1% to protection from damage, body and head, for every level until the bonus reaches is 10%. That's going to be another one that we grab here. Deep Pockets. You have a lot of deep pockets, and the health bonus is just from your good genes. You get plus 1 kilograms to carry weight and plus 1 health point for every level until those bonuses reach 30. Exercise is the key to good health. You get plus 1% cold resist and plus 1% toxic resistance and 4% to health points, or health point restoration while resting for every second level until the bonuses reach 10% for resistances and 40% for HP restoration. Another one that we grab here. Sounds really good. I don't know how much of a threat the cold is going to be, but I'd rather be prepared for it than not. Alright, Plate Master. When you're wearing your armor, nothing can stop you. You get plus 1% to damage resistance body, plus 1% to damage resistance head, plus 1% to avoid knockdown, and minus 2 to evasion for every 6 kilograms of your equipped armor, shield, body armor, and mask and helmet. Doesn't work with powered exoskeleton. I'm gonna grab that. A Juggernaut. You're an unstoppable force. What does not kill you makes you stronger. Damage resistance for body and head increased to plus 2% for every 5% of missing HP until the end of the fight. We'll be grabbing that. A Monster Lore Expert. An expert warrior can tell a lot about their enemy just by looking at them. When aiming at a target, you receive more thorough information about it. That's better for a companion to get. It's not something that I want to grab on my main character. Poison Ivy. Amazing metabolism makes toxins disappear as soon as they contact your immune system. Common poison no longer lowers your health points. I don't know how much that's going to come up in this campaign. Alright, Praetorian. Some people are capable of wearing heavy armor from the start. Most come to this skill later in life. Lowers dodge penalty 3 times when using masks, helmet, and armors. Armor, helmets, and masks no longer reduce characteristics. I'm gonna grab that. Actually, I might get that instead of... I know, we'll see. Shield Master. For a true warrior, a shield is basically an extension of his or her own hand. Has the dodge penalty when using a shield. Shields no longer reduce characteristics and accuracy. Oops. We'll be grabbing that as well. A Shield Bearer. An experienced fighter can use the shield really well for his or her own protection. Defense chance for shields increase plus 1% for every second level until the bonus reaches 15%. Shields become weightless. And that's it. Don't need to read the rest of it. Alright, Inner Reserve. In the Waste, it's easy to lose a lot of health. Why not have more to begin with? You get plus 1 action point as a one-time permanent bonus, and plus 1 health points for every second level, until the bonus reaches 30 HP. A Last Hope. There is always that. In combat, you gain plus 10 health points every turn, in case you have less than 40% of your max health points. The plus 15 health points for every turn when you have less than 20% of your max health points. And self-sufficient. Addictions are sometimes caused by something missing from the person's life. You no longer have a chance to become addicted to any drugs or alcohol, unless you have the Dr. Death distinction, which never allows you to stop being addicted. Alright, martial arts. Bonebreaker. Your fists are made from steel. Martial arts deals plus 1% more damage for every second level, until the bonus reaches 15%. Experienced Butcher. We don't need those unnecessary limbs, don't we? Melee weapons deal plus 1% more damage when aiming at body parts for every second level, until the bonus reaches 20%. We're going to be grabbing that. Nocturnal Predator. You're the terror that lurks in the night. During night, chance to cause critical condition is plus 1% for every second level. The bonus reaches 15%. Dodge Master. Why do you need armor if nobody can get you? Plus 1 evasion point for every used up action point. Unused AP still grants evasion points as well. Then Street Fighter. Meh, firearms are overrated. Your base melee damage increases as if you had plus 50% more strength. That's really good. Fist of Fury. You deal out a chain of increasingly devastating blows. Every next hit dealt to the same target ups the critical chance for by 3%. Chance of target resets this bonus. Or change of target. Alright, this is hard to read. Alright, Adapter. You quickly learn the tactics of your enemies and start to predict their every move. You gain plus 1 evasion point for every 5% of missing health points. Only works if dodge was a positive number before combat. Supersonic Fist. Some of your hits are so fast they cause sonic booms. You get a plus 1% to knockdown chance in close combat for every second level until the bonus reaches 10%. We're gonna grab that. Precision stab. There's a chink in every piece of armor, and you know how to find it. You get plus 2% to the chance to ignore armor in close combat when fighting with melee weapons for every level until the bonus reaches 50%. That is really good. Assuming we fight a lot of armored enemies, so I have no idea. Alright, adrenaline rush. When there's danger afoot, time seems to stop. If your health points are lower than 50%, you're granted plus 2 action points per turn. Definitely grabbing that. Fist of mutilation. After a blow like that, at least something will go wrong with your enemy. The enemy suffers a random critical effect. Pain points. Hitting them when they're down. You love the idea. Plus 25% chance to critical chance. Plus 25% chance to critically hit when hitting a knocked out or a panicky opponent. Plus 100% to the chance of an especially violent finishing move happening. Yeah, we'll grab that. First blood. Running start means a devastating blow. Actually, do I want this one? It means I have to knock him down. First blood. Running start means a devastating blow. Plus 2% to critical chance and damage for every action point wasted on moving this turn. Fast reaction. Killing opponents fills you with new energy. You manage to kill the enemy, and you have nothing but melee weapons in the weapon slots. You get one more turn after the end of the main one. On an extra turn, you gain 50% of your max action points. We're grabbing that instead. Blade Master. Unguard Touche. These are not merely buzzwords for you. Every attack cost is lowered by 1 action point, as long as the base cost is more than 3 AP. Alright, pistols and SMG. Retour? Redder? When two people shoot at one another using pistols, the most experienced one always wins. You get plus 5% to armor-piercing chance with aimed pistol shots as a one-time permanent bonus, plus 1% to damage when shooting from a pistol, for every second level until the bonus reaches 15%. Submachine gun fan. There's nothing subpar about the submachine guns. You get plus 1% to damage when shooting from SMGs for every second level until the bonus reaches 10%. A bottle shooter. You love to shoot at the limbs of opponents, and they're not happy about it at all. Plus 1% to critical chance and plus 1% to critical condition chance when shooting any body part every third level, until the bonus reaches 15%. Cat's Eye. A person that sees in the dark as well as in the light has a certain advantage in combat. Removes accuracy handicaps when shooting at night. Does not work for aimed shots. Ear-splitting shot. Enemies lose their sanity when you begin to fire your weapon. Every 2 levels you gain a plus 1% to knockout chance and panic chance when firing bursts until the value reaches 20%. Experience a duelist. To survive in Trudograd is to shoot better than all enemies. Plus 1% to chance of inflicting a critical state with aim shot at body parts for every 2 levels until the value reaches 15%. Pistolero. In the waist, a quick draw is just a lifesaver. Having a pistol or SMG in your active weapon slot grants plus 1 to sequence for every 3 levels until the value reaches 7. Ballistics Expert. Everything has its rules, ups the shooting range by 3 squares. Neutralizer. Get on the ground. Plus 3% to the accuracy of each bullet in pistol or SMG burst. Migraine Medicine. That's one way to cure one's headache. Headshot against an enemy in a critical state grants plus 50% critical chance bonus and a plus 50% critical damage bonus. Concentrated Fire. You'd rather spread enemy brains on the sidewalk than your own burst shots. Pistol burst gains plus 1 round and spread gets lowered by 25%. Armor piercing increased by 15%. Quick Draw. The ability to quickly draw a handgun and fire accurately on a target. All attacks cost minus 1 AP if the base cost of a regular pistol shot or short burst of SMGs is 4 or more AP. Fast Reload. It's not just about the shoot, it's about reloading. Reload cost is minus 1 action point less, does not affect weapons with a base reload cost of 1 AP. Shoot to kill. Pick a target, any target. Every bullet in the burst gives all the bullets that come after it plus 1% to critical chance and stun chance, and also plus 4% to armor piercing chance when you attack the same opponent. And spread easing. There's nothing subpar about submachine guns. halves the spread of SMG burst attacks. Alright, automatic firearms. First boy. Automatic weapons are still common in the wastes, but the ability to properly use them is worth one's weight in gold. All assault rifles gain a plus 1% to damage for every 2 levels until the value reaches 12%. Rusty assault rifles jam twice as less. Machine gunner, you're no mere human, you're a force of nature. You get plus 1 to damage when shooting from machine guns for every 3rd level until the bonus reaches 8%. Lowers the chance of jamming when shooting from rusty machine guns. Doesn't tell you by how much. The sound and the fury. A burst from your weapon of choice will make the strongest enemies panic. You get a plus 1% chance to inflict panic when shooting in bursts for every 2nd level until the bonus reaches 15%. Lubricator. When you treat it right, even the rustiest gun will fire like new. Minus 1 to burst spread. Firing line. When in a shootout with you, any enemy is only a few steps away from shell shock. You get plus 1% to knockdown chance when shooting from machine guns for every 2nd level until the bonus reaches 12%. Commando. Murdering crowds of bad guys with a single burst is your day job. Each bullet in the burst gives plus 4% to damage dealt to all the next ones in the same burst. Executioner style. One needs to have a very special mindset to pull the trigger while looking the victim in the eye. Removes the handicap for shooting enemies on adjacent squares. Target shooting. Machine guns are much more stable in your hands. Machine gun bursts are 25% more stable. Shooting on a whim. You don't need to see your enemy to hit them. Removes the handicap when shooting at night. Bullseye. Sometimes you can send every bullet through certain chinks in the enemy's armor. Every bullet in an assault rifle burst gives the rest of the bullets in the same burst plus 7% to the chance of ignoring armor. Weapon knowledge is the difference between a master and a novice, a living man and a dead one. Strength requirements to automatic firearms are lessened by 3. Rocket rounds. You learn to shoot accurately even at the most crazy distances. The range of all attacks increases by 4 squares. Handy cartridge belt. Keep your friends close, but your ammo even closer. The cost of reloading automatic weapons is now minus 1 action point less. Target focus. It's great when every shot in a burst lands. Halves the spread of burst shots. Total annihilation. Kill, kill, kill. Every bullet in a machine gun burst that hits the same enemy adds plus 1% for critical chance for the next bullets in the same burst. Sorry, some of these are a little wordy. Having a hard time reading some of these because they're how they're translated. Fusilier. Tell yourself to shoot shotguns like a true pro. You get plus 1% to damage when shooting from shotguns for every 2nd level until the bonus reaches 10%. Lowers the chance of jamming when shooting from rusty shotguns. It doesn't say how much. True Grit. The ability to use rifles and shotguns is a great help in the wastes. Rifle shots pierce 1% of armor and get 1% to damage when shooting from rifles for every 2nd level. The bonus reaches 10, and lowers the chance of jamming when shooting from rusty rifles. Witcher. Fighting monsters is quite the important skill in the wastes. You get mutated monsters for double damage. Hunter. You always find their prey. You hit animals for double damage. Gunsmith. Who says violence can't create anything? You're great at making your human brethren into ghosts. You get plus 1% to damage when aim shooting body parts of humans except body for every 2nd level until the bonus reaches 10%. Double barrel. Lay down, friend. Double barrel attacks grant plus 10% to knockout chance. Single barrel attacks grant plus 5%. Close combat. The opponents better keep their social distancing. There's handicaps when firing rifles and shotguns point blank. Night shooter. See better when in the dark. There is a penalty for aim shots during nighttime. Amputator. All those pesky limbs are simply unnecessary. You get plus 1% to critical damage chance when aim shooting body parts from rifles and shotguns for every 2nd level until the bonus reaches 15%. Strong grip. Aiming at vital organs usually does the job. Halves the spread when firing bursts and double barrel shots. Proletarian with a shotgun. Even if your shotgun is armed with simple table salt, you can still make your shots memorable for your enemies. You get plus 1% to critical effect chance when shooting from shotguns for every second level, till the bonus reaches 10%. Eagle Eye. Aiming at vital organs usually does the job. You get plus 2% to critical damage chance when aim shooting in the head or eye from rifles with scope for every level, till the bonus reaches 30%. Manhunter. Some say that man is the most dangerous of animals. Enemies standing at point-blank range get 50% more damage when critically hit. If they die from such an attack, it always looks very gruesome. Panic Master. Don't cry and call mommy. Killing an enemy with an especially brutal death animation has a 15% chance to cause a panic amongst the still living enemies in a 5 square range. Extreme Prejudice is what you're projecting while shooting at your enemies. Every bullet in an automatic rifle burst that hits the same enemy adds plus 2% to knockout chance and raises non-critical damage by 4%. Alright, and crafting. A fast learner. Some lucky people get it faster than others. You get plus 1 skill point for every level. Capable hands. Get things done. Chance to break an item when crafting is lowered by 50%. Gobsec. Gold rules the world and the merchant rules the gold. And a plus 10% discount when trading. Crafter's Cornucopia. You're a real master of crafting. When you craft the items, you gain a 5% chance to create double the items. Midnight Stranger. Cunning mind behind a shadowy disguise. You gain a plus 50% stealth bonus during nighttime. Right priorities. To drink, to eat well, to get a discount. You're getting a 20% discount when buying food and alcohol. In the inventory, these items weigh 50% less. Bookworm. Reading is the best way to learn. You can double the skills from books. That's pretty good. Firearms Academy. Seems like you already graduated since you're that good. You get a plus 1% damage when shooting from crafted weapons and crossbow for every second level until the bonus reaches 20%. Crafted weapons no longer jam. Cautious Thief. I risk robbing the lucid when you can rob the dreamers penalty free. Gain a 100% chance to pickpocket when the victim is asleep. VIP. Nothing is too good for you. Gain 1% to the chance of finding rare items on sale for every second level till the bonus reaches 15%. Effective Training. A great skill it is to get the maximum out of every lesson learned. Gain plus 20% to all experience received. Best of the class. Some lucky ones always have it just come to them. You gain plus 3 skill points and plus 1 ability point every time you gain a level. A Hands of Gold. Crafting is a lifestyle. You succeed at crafting at 100% rate, but only if you have studied the recipe and your crafting skills at least 50% of the minimum skill required by the recipe. Master of Unlocking. Your lockpicking wizards can open a known lock type in seconds. You gain an ability to open locks of your level instantly. And Slap on the Wrist. You just get a slap on the wrist, and nobody attacks you when you fail at thieving. This is a really good tree. I'm going really heavy into the combat. I don't know how combat focused this campaign is going to be. But I have no problem investing in this going forward. I think I have all the skills that I want here. Unless I wanted to get both pain points and first blood. No, it's a different skill. I don't remember which one it was. Alright, throwing weapons. Silk Bowstring. You take care of your favorite weapons well. You get plus 1% to the range of fire when shooting from crossbows for every level, until the bonus reaches 20%. Powerful Throw. You really should think about a career in sports. You get plus 1% to the throwing range for every level, until the bonus reaches 30% for grenades and throwing knives. Eye Gouger. Oof, right in the eye socket. Eye shots have additional 5% chance to critically hit. Sapper. Everyone has a right to make a mistake. Primed explosives do not go off in the inventory, and you get an ability to disarm them. Bad Day. That's what your enemies will get. Burning enemies lose 10% of their armor if you attack them with a grenade. Arbalester. The crossbows don't need force when you have skill. Fifth requirements no longer impact shooting ability. Genoese Crossbowman. A professional shooter reloads their weapon seamlessly. Crossbow reload costs are down 1 action point. A Demo Man. That's what your friends call you. Explosives that were set and blown up during combat always critically hit. Boom. You love loud explosions, your opponents do not. You get a plus 1% chance to cause critical condition when using grenades or Molotov cocktails for every second level until the bonus reaches 15%. And through the visor, you see all imperfections in enemy armor. Aimed crossbow shots ignore 50% of enemy armor. William Tell. You always shoot from afar. The chance of causing a critical hit with a crossbow gets plus 1% higher from each square before you and your enemies, starting from the first square. Rain of Bolts. It's quantity over quality. Price of crossbow shots is lowered by 1 action point, as long as the base cost is more than 3 action points. Thrower. When they see you, they scream. Duck and cover. Throwing any grenades and throwing knives is now 1 action point cheaper. Master of Explosions. Yep, that's you alright. Grenades and dynamite get plus 2% to damage and plus 2% to explosion radius for every second level until the bonus reaches 20%. And Pyromaniac. Fire, walk with me. Firebombs gain plus 2% to fire-based damage and plus 2% to blast radius for every second level until the bonus reaches 20%. Alright, we're finally done reading everything, but we need to make a few more adjustments here. I'm not going to use martial arts. So put that to melee weapons. And I can't take anything out of that. I don't usually pickpocket either. Gonna keep Speechcraft where it's at. Throwing weapons I'm fine with putting it at 100. Survival down to 40, I think. Alright, I'm happy with that. That's it for character creation. Next episode, we'll jump into the action and see what Trudograd is all about. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one.